Hello, welcome to Homesteading Northwest Florida. It is Tuesday, February 20th, 2024, and it is 4:15 p.m. approximately. And we're going to have a string of beautiful days here. Cleaned up my whole garden. It is 66 degrees right now on our thermometer. I had the cover last night was like 32 freezing, and the night before was 32 freezing. But today was a beautiful day, and it's forecasted to be, 37 tonight. I think I will cover the lettuce, but I'm not going to cover this bed. I did last night with the blanket at the freezing temperature because I have some seeds germinating in there. We'll see how many of them are not weeds. So today, we cleaned up our garden area, and we're going to do something different this year because the weeds under here and the mole voles and everything. So I'm going to put a series of pots, of containers, of all the greenhouse black containers here in a series. Nothing's really going to be in the ground except for my flower bed over here, which we have some irises coming up. We have other stuff, and here's a Chinese privet stump that I cut down a couple years ago, and I covered it with this black plastic bag, and I was mowed in this area today, and I'm like, oh man, it would be great if I could get rid of that plastic bag so I don't have to worry about sucking it up. Then under anything, you're always going to have fire ants. So under this stump, they made a huge colony, but I can just rip this stump right out of this ground here right now because it's been a couple years, and so that's what's going to happen. I'm going to put some Amdro down and get it going on with that. Ooh, I got a couple. I didn't know this, but you're supposed to cover your fig trees, even in this zone. But I got a couple of buds there. Wow, awesome. It'll probably grow a lot better once it doesn't have a stump over here too, or anything blocking it. That's why I didn't plant there, because there was a great big stump. So anyhow, cleared out this whole area and weeded some pots, weeded some containers. Found a nice onion in this one. This was a red onion, I think, or I can check it out, see if it's garlic. I did put some garlic ends in here. But it'll be a second year onion. It'll never get as big as the ones in the store, but they will produce seeds, and I think I have some onion seeds from one of the onions here. I'll put that in a pot, in a container. And we still have some bok choy all through the winter. This one was covered though with the black furnace shroud. It was covered with this, and it will be tonight because only 37. But I'm just cleaning up a whole bunch of pots. This was that green giant arborvitae that tipped over and died on me last year while I was away for 4 months. And I'm just reclaiming this potting soil out of this thing because it's got a lot of perlite and then I'll mix it with some of my compost, rejuvenate it a little bit. So it looks like I'm going to be able to figure out what's dead and alive. Rose bushes are coming out, new buds and everything. It looks like I'm going to be able to figure out what part of this is dead or alive here with this European fan palm, which I don't know what's up with it. The windmill palm does real nice, but this European fan palm doesn't like it. And I do find these, I have a couple containers here. I always find glass in the back here. And as I'm weeding and everything, if I find grass, or if I find volunteer pine trees. I have a spot I'm planting those as a wind block, and they're this kind of pine, a longleaf pine, which likes to volunteer everywhere, but I'll take them. They're free trees, and that one I chopped the top, and I might even dig this one out. I don't quite like the position of it, but I am taking the volunteer pine trees. Another thing I did was move this a piece of Mexican petunia over here, and it already has these two canes are old, but here's a new shoot of Mexican petunia. So I got to clean out my Mexican petunia bed probably tomorrow or something. But I do want some pine trees here. So I dig up the volunteer pine trees, and I'm planting them as a wind block here in like rows and groups, and we'll see which ones survive. This one I did about a week ago, and this one I just did today with 4 pine trees that I found growing where I don't exactly want them, but they are not wasted. They are moved because they do so well here, you know. And I like this one here, right here. This is a volunteer. I know you can't really see because of the direction of the sun, but we're gonna have some warm evenings here. Azaleas are a little bit out. I think I put some old fertilizer on this, and it kind of screwed them up a little bit, some dead spots. So now I'm not going to fertilize them at all. Here's a whole bunch of volunteer pine trees that I will be moving as a wind block. They'll be good for that. Yeah, and here's all my pots. Containers I'm gonna pot up and put those in my other part of my garden. But I'm tired of, I can focus. There's so many weeds that I can actually focus on just weeding one area at a time instead of like a whole, and eventually I will make raised beds here, and I'll make them myself out of metal and siding, and I will custom make them to the sizes that I want. Like this one's going to be a triangle right here, so I can have this path still be here.